Ah yes, chapter 2. It gets better, and it also gets worse, with the worst page in the entire comic in this chapter. I still love it though. The chapter, not the page. So last video, whenever we looked at chapter 1, we were doing the screen capture thing while we were also reading through the comic together, but I didn't anticipate how the screen capture would lag in regards to the mouse, which was the main reason why I wanted to do screen capture, but like it looked really choppy and weird in the end, so let's try something different today. So we'll be reading through the pages and talking about things to avoid and things that were good, and so on. Lessons to be learned. Learn from my fail. All that fun stuff. Also, the comic is really fun and I love it and I love reading through it. So, there we go. Are those the Western Mountains? No, those are the foothills. Oh, what's so great about a hole in the ground? Money. Yeah, right. There's all sorts of things in these holes. Moo. See? Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. Love this page. Nothing to say. Except the snowflakes look weird. Again, I didn't know what style I was doing. This would be fine if it was the whole comic was a storybook style. The snowflakes looking like this would have been great, but it is not. So there we go. For more about style and the importance of having a style guide, see the previous video on chapter 1 because I was struggling with that even more in the first chapter. I think it kind of starts to level out in this chapter. I think I started to get a bit more of a sense of what style I wanted. There's a cow down here. Milk. There's water and grass, but how is it living down here? And how does it have milk? Doesn't it need to be calving or something? It's very useful to find cows all over the place like this. Sure, but usefulness really isn't the issue here. Yeah, this wouldn't make any sense if you had never played, like, Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Like, I could only imagine how baffling this page must be for people who only played Breath of the Wild, and they're like, what is this writer doing? What is this bizarre thing? But yeah, no, this was totally a thing in the games. And even as a child, I was like, how is this possible? How is this cow okay? Is it all right? I am concerned. It seemed content though, so oh well. This page does definitely, this is something that is present for a long time in the comic, is that Link is just way too big. Like, he is as tall as that cow. He should not be as tall as a cow. He is a little child. How long until we reach the foothills? That's where you're headed, right? Right, in one more day. They're really a day away. If you're in a hurry for some reason, we don't have to stop for the night. What? I could handle walking all night, but you sure couldn't. No, I can't. I even stayed up for days, weeks when I was saving Hyrule. Oh, this again. Yeah, sure you did. Kids sure are cute before they hit their teens. I am not cute. Yeah, you are. You totally are. Let's see. Nothing to comment on here. One thing though is that the foothills idea, you have to know the geography, and whenever you're working from a game like Zelda where the geography is like constantly changing in each game, it helps to plan out in advance what the world is going to look like, which I did. So the Western Mountains in this case were inspired by the mountains in, I believe it was Twilight Princess, where, yeah, I think that there were mountains to the west, like north of Zora's Domain or something like that, because Zora's Domain was like on the western side of Hyrule instead. That was a weird game. I loved it, but the geography was interesting. Another cold one. Boy, slow down. Are you stupid? You really drink it all in one. Oh, he's hiccuping? No. I'm not gonna do the hiccups. So just, he's hiccuping constantly. Knock it off already. Do you have any idea how annoying that is? You know what? These pages are actually kind of meaningless now that I'm looking at it. I'm not saying that like they're bad or I should have not done them, but there's actually no point to this bit of him hiccuping. It's basically just to fill in the space and be like, they woke up the next morning and they kept walking and it was snowing. But they're kind of pointless. Huh. And that's okay. Again, this is little pages like this, extra pages like this can be fine for a gag comic because people don't really care, because like it is a bit. It's not a great bit, but it is a bit. And I mean, it is cute with him covering his mouth like this. Like, that's pretty cute. Yeah, whenever you're writing a comic that is more story driven, is more like drama, things like that. Readers will have lower tolerance for like filler bits like this, filler pages. So just be on the lookout for them, because they can, again, it's not bad, but it doesn't really serve any purpose. And it's not really that funny of a bit. So what are you doing? There are moblins around here, so Epana's gonna go back. Okay, but she might just follow us. She won't. 10 minutes later, she's staring at us. She'll leave when she can't see us anymore. 50 minutes later, she's still staring. Don't worry about it. I like this. See, and that's the thing about writing comedy. Something that might be funny to you may not be funny to the reader. Like a previous reader might have thought that the hiccuping bit was like really cute and like, oh yeah, I like it. You should. I like that bit. And then somebody else might find this bit with Epana like creepily watching them from a distance to be just not funny. Yeah, and we'll talk more about that later in the chapter. Any moblins other than moblins? Any monsters other than moblins around here? Not many. Maybe some Eno in some really snowy areas. Oh, there might be Nejiron. Nejiron? They're like bombs. If you touch them, they blow up. The first time I ran into one, I tried using my sword. Boom! 10-year-old Link. If I didn't have a red potion, I would have died. Boy, that was dumb. Yeah. So this was another case of doing things on the fly. I did not plan what 10-year-old Link's character design would be. At least I don't think I did. Maybe I did like one sketch and then this was like me solidifying it, sort of. It still doesn't look quite the same as it does later in the comic. Yeah. Early pages are weird. I guess that's the moral of the story here. Don't get close to the edge. It's crumbly, and I've seen huge chunks fall, duly noted. But where's the money you're looking for up here? Birds. Birds? Ah, so what are you gonna... So what? You gonna catch them all and sell them? Sounds like a pain in a... Pow! Oh, nice arm. Okay, so this was a panel that... I'll never forget this page because I had to redraw it because I drew him throwing the rock with his right arm the first time, and Link is left-handed. So now I'm so used to drawing him left-handed that I will accidentally draw other characters left-handed. Like I do that with Gan sometimes in the sketching phase, and I have to like correct to make Gan right-handed instead of left-handed like Link. So yeah, you can get like used to little things like that over time. So like if you're starting your comic and you're like, oh, this thing I'm not used to drawing, oh, I'll never get used to it. Like once you've drawn it repeatedly enough, you'll get used to it. You might get too used to it. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, you can see that this was edited. See how jagged these lines are? This is because I edited it in Paint, because at the time, because of the health issues I was having, all I was doing was using the inking, and I would scan it, and then I would do some editing in MS Paint just to keep it like super duper simple. Obviously that has pros and cons, but I mean, it's functional. You can tell what's happening. I mean, I'm actually still pretty proud of this last panel. Like, you can tell exactly what's happening. I didn't even need to have, I mean, the PAL sound effect is fine. It's not bad. But I didn't need to have it. You can still tell what's happening even if you remove that. So like, yeah, this is a nice panel. Like, you don't have to have the nicest, cleanest, fanciest artwork in the world for it to be like functional and telling a story and conveying what's happening. That's part of why comics are so great, to be honest, is because if your art is like clear and functional and the reader can tell what's happening and you're telling a story that's like amusing or interesting or whatever, people will stick around for it because they can follow the story, and people appreciate good visual storytelling. So yeah, like go for it, you know? So how will you make money off of killing birds? Ah, the purple rupee. That's disgusting. What's wrong with you? Don't bring it near me. Gross. Get it away, you brat. Okay, in retrospect, I don't think... No, this is still weird. I was about to say in retrospect, I don't know if Gan would be this sensitive to, like, bird guts, but, like, this is weird. Like, a child who has not exhibited violent tendencies before suddenly pulling this gigantic stone out of this small bird and just like, yeah, this would be alarming even if you were pretty, you know, used to seeing weird and gross stuff in war or butchery and things like that. Yeah, I like this page. It is a little, his reaction is a bit dramatic, but again, like, it's one of those things where it may not work super duper duper well for the comic as a whole, but it works for the page. So there we go. I do like his expressions here are fun. And just how, like, chill, like, is in comparison. Yeah, works out pretty well. And that rupee is gigantic, though. It, like, changes size. Oh, dear. Oh, well. Looks like he's well on his way to that 5,000. Over 250 in one day isn't bad, but there's gotta be a way to convince him to lead me to Castletown soon. Maybe I should just tell him. Yes, you should. Whoa, what's wrong? I thought I heard a moblin. False alarm, I guess. Never do that again. Yeah, Wind Waker Link expressions are delightful. I enjoyed experimenting with them. I actually don't do them as often as I used to. That's part of the fun of starting a comic, though, is that you get to experiment and try different things and see what works, see what doesn't. Snap, snap, sniff, they fling. Whoa, hey, release me at once, you ugly, stupid, foul uncle. 5 more minutes. Wake up already. The second panel is weird. I mean, you could tell what's going on, but like the first panel's fine, like it's ominous shapes in the background, but then like the second panel, I think it's the lack of like shading in the second panel. I should have just kept the background like dark-ish, like not even entirely dark, but like at least a little, just for consistency's sake, because it's shaded again in the third panel. So yeah, so I think I mentioned in the last video is that I was uploading about a page a day, and whenever I was first starting the comic, and that definitely affected things. If I had been aiming more for just like 3 pages a week or something like that, I would have had a bit more time to edit and, you know, polish up things, like, you know, making the background here a bit shaded. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, yeah, oh well. I mean, the page is still cute, you can still tell what's happening, but yeah. Kid, wake up, you little idiot. How can he sleep through all this? What does it take to wake this kid up? Hey, kid, wake up, or I'll read those letters from your fiancé. I'll fight you for him first. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, this is the worst page of the comic. I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah. Oh, even whenever I was like working on this page originally back in 2015, I was like, I hate this, but I don't know what else to do, and I have to upload the page because it's due today. I can't budge these poles, even though I got my 1 foot loose. See those sharp loose rocks on your end? Yeah. Toss one up with your foot, grab it with your mouth, and use it as a knife. Missed. I can't believe, no, don't open your, again, I'll try it again. Okay, so this is awful. What I should have done was that I should have had set up a thing like, oh, like his arm is free. Like he managed to like they tied him up weird, so his hand was kind of near his chest, so he was able to like get his arm free, and then you could still have him like kicking up the rock, but he would be able to like grab it with his hand and then use that. So even though his hand, something like that, just not this. This doesn't make any sense, and it's awful, and it looks bad. I hate it. The only good thing is his Link's expression in the last panel. The rest of this is bad. I hate it. Again, though, if I had given myself more time, I could have just redone the page. So, there it is. I can't believe that worked. Yeah, me neither, Gan. Now untie me. Sniff, sniff. Sorry, kid, no time. Don't joke around. This is a joke, right? No. He just sucks. Looks like they aren't chasing me. Can't see or hear a sign of them. Good, the kid will keep them distracted. You were good help while you lasted, kid. I'll respect your Is that his pack? That's so mean. Oh, man. Wasn't there another captive? He really left me behind, and I thought he was a good person. No, he isn't. Okay, so this was a page that... Oh, let me read through it first. These are too tight. Can't get out. I need a way out. Oh, is that an Edgeron? Try to get its attention over here. Spits on it. Boom. So the idea of him spitting on a monster to get it to like be incredibly furious and explode everything was at the time absolutely hysterical to me. But I guess it's because it's a Negeron, and Negeron are so effing weird. So the idea of like somebody even spitting on one to begin with is just bizarre. I remember posting this and being like, this is going to be like my most popular page ever. It's going to have so many notes. Many people are going to comment on it. But then like this page was like less popular than the others. And I was like, I don't understand. So yeah, this is that thing I mentioned earlier, like different tastes and humor. And that's something that's funny to you might not be funny to other people. Oh well. But anyways, I do like this weird way of getting out of trouble better than whatever the heck happened with Gan, because this is just so bizarre that like in a gag comic, something that this weird, like I feel like it works better than something that is semi-practical. Like it's so basic for him to like grab a rock, and if I'm gonna do something that basic, it should at least like make sense and not be weird. But with something this bizarre, it's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know. I think that people's tastes on that might differ, whether or not you're okay with like bizarre things like this, even in gag comics. But you know, it's one of those things that's neither good nor bad. It just is. Sheesh, how many magic beans does one kid need? You're alive, the Moblins. I had to fight them all alone, and you stole their jewelry? Don't change the subject. Oh my gosh. I remember I was replaying Wind Waker around the time that I was working on this chapter, and I was like, haha, it's so funny that you can steal their jewelry. Oh my gosh, I gotta use that in the comic. Yes, I love it, because yeah, if he doesn't have his pack, like where is he gonna put them? He's gonna wear them, and they look so ridiculous. I'll put these away, and you were stealing my things? I thought you'd be eaten, but hey, you survived. Good for you. So here's your stuff back. Ka-shing. Wow, seriously? Yeah, this is a great page. I love it. Yeah. Look, kid, you don't want to fight me. Well, watch it. I know you. You almost cut off my leg. Gee, I wonder why. That's it, brat. I'm gonna cut off your little... Hey, yeah, he's screaming, falling, crack, another fun page. Yeah, the proportions are really wonky, but again, it's functional. You can tell he's trying to hit him. The second panel is a little weird, but the other panels are fine. I think this was the first action scene I actually drew for the comic. I think, yeah. And of course it's the two of them fighting, because it's nature. It's just, you know, it is inevitable. Okay, so he's falling. Yeah, he grabs onto the branch. I'm alive. Oh, hey, kid, you up there? I know the ledge of this cliff must be all crumbly and dangerous up there, but get over it, throw me a line. You want me to risk my life to help you? Yes, even though I just did the exact opposite, leaving you behind earlier, the irony is not lost on me, kid. Well, at least that is. Oh, I remember this was the first time I really did like real perspective for the comic with like the second panel here. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Nice. Yeah. See, even in like your early chapters that are, you know, rougher, you can look back and be like, hey, that panel turned out pretty well. You know, feel happy about it. So there we go. This cliff is This cliff is too slick and unstable to climb. The kid won't help me. This branch is going to give soon. It's not so far to fall. No, I'd at least be seriously wounded, even with that snow down there. Are those monsters down there? Maybe they haven't seen me. Yeah, I think they've seen you. I love that I gave the Eno sporks instead of forks. I don't know why I did that, but I'm glad I did, because it's just, sporks are just inherently funnier than forks, at least to me, for some reason. Yeah, you can tell this was like a copy-paste flip thing, with one, you know, to the other, because, you know, you can see the forks are in the same hand and things like that. Let's just say that one of them is left-handed. Yeah, let's go with that. This is probably the goofiest page. Like, this is the most cartoonish punchline with them waiting with sporks and knives and a plate. This is, yeah, but I love it. I absolutely love this. Oh man, I could just leave him. This is it. I'll never see my home again. Just because he likes his home, it doesn't mean anything. Asir, son, I'll never see you again. Guilds. So, this is another example of winging it. I knew that I knew Gan had a family, And I knew I wanted him to have a son, but I didn't actually name his son before writing this page. So I was like, oh, I need a name. Oh, what about Nasir? Yeah, that's the name of the guy from Fire Emblem 9, that cool, dragon grandpa guy. Yeah, that's a great name. I'll give it to his son. And it works out well. The name suits him. It's working. People seem to not have a problem with it. But yeah, it's so funny. I was like, yeah, Fire Emblem name. Why not? It works. There you go. You don't have to plan everything. Sometimes things do work out just fine. Looks like this is it. What the? Oof. Okay. You just face planted him. I love it. You saved me? Why did you do it? You were the one with the sun, remember? What? So this is another page that I think is hilarious, but actually doesn't get like tons of like reader response or notes or whatever, but like the fact that like it's a weird whip, I think it's the one from Skyward Sword, and then he just swings it up only to like face plant him hard, and so he's like rubbing his face in the second to last panel there, and then he's just like yelling at him stuff that makes perfect sense to Link, but to Ganon, like Ganon didn't know he ever heard him. He doesn't understand why it would matter to him that like, oh, he has a son and all that because of Link likes parents that are devoted to their kids. That's part of his personality in this. So yeah, it's just. So I love this page, but it's one that I think, that's just inevitable. That's just part of making a comic or making art in general, or writing, because stuff that resonates with you, the creator, because you know all the backstory, why it's funny for the characters or why it's meaningful to them, but like the reader doesn't know, and maybe it doesn't really matter. Like this page it's still a good page, even if you don't find it funny like I do. Like, it still works. It still tells what's going on. And I really like how the motion turned out in the third panel there. I didn't have any unnecessary, I didn't write swing to show that he was swinging him around. I did write grab in the second panel. That was not necessary. I could have left that out. But yeah, like just the and then the slam and then the oof, like it works well. Yeah, I was starting to learn, starting to improve already. It's just the second chapter. Yeah, there we go. Goodbye. Hey kid, wait a second. I don't get it. I left you behind. You don't owe me a thing. You didn't do this because I led you out of the desert. You paid me back by leading me around. You don't owe me. You little piece of... Oh my gosh, he's so mean. Don't ignore me. Why did you make me owe you anything? Hey, listen when I'm talking, you brat. In the third panel, we have a chunky Link again. He's so pudgy. I love it. He's so cute. I kind of wish I had left him like a little chunky like that instead of making him more like a skinny preteen monster boy. You've been ignoring me all day, but I wouldn't answer. Night is coming, and when you stop and make camp, I'll make you tell me why you saved me. Kid, we walked all night. It's snowing. How are those skinny little legs of yours still working? I'm starting to think you're not a real little boy. You're like a tireless, bizarre little imp. Are my skinny legs going too fast for you? You're a cheeky little brat when you're mad, you know that? His face in the second to last panel. He's so mad. I love it. Oh my goodness. I really need to go back to experimenting more with his expressions, because, yeah. Oh man. I love it. I love it. That's it. My legs are giving out. My body is completely numb. I need to stop and sleep. But I've only lived in the desert. I have no idea how to survive a blizzard. And you saving me earlier was irresponsible. If you just leave me now to die. This way. So that's how you work, eh? Yeah. You meanie. You meanie. You're taking advantage of his sense of guilt and responsibility. Nah. So the pine trees in the background here are really simple, but I still really like how they look. I remember liking them at the time. I still like them now. I like that you can tell that, like, though they're in a forest, it is a blizzard, and it's like very simple, but it works. You can tell what it is. I like it. So this kid is just a goody two-shoes, eh? But he escaped 4 moblins alone. That's not normal. Pow! Yeah! What was that? Adikuna, why would you do that? It's relaxing. Relaxing. Never do that again. Got it, you crazy brat. Pow! This is great. I love this page. This was so much fun to draw too. And I remember I enjoyed experimenting with like the lighting and the shading. There are definitely things that you can really do best with hatching without any grayscale, like with the lines on the second panel and the lines in the it's mostly the second panel that I think turned out really, really well. I really like it. Oh, woo! What was that? White Wolfos. Yeah, right. I've never even heard of just normal Wolfos anywhere other than the... What is this dialogue? Okay. Yeah, right. I've never even heard of just normal Wolfos anywhere than the Lost Woods. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I needed to read this out loud. I should have just had him say, yeah, right. How would I even revise this? Normal wolf, even normal Wolfos aren't found anywhere. No, I wrote this so weird. I'd have to it's another case where I'd have to completely rewrite this. We had one like this in the first chapter too. It's just weirdly written. It's like word salad. It's not good. Snarl, growl, rip, grr. You can go see him for yourself if you want. No, thanks. Yeah. Even though the second panel has weird dialogue, I do like this page, but this is another example of a filler page, except for showing that Link's still like really mad at him. Like, go play with the wolves. Yeah. Morning already. Have you been sitting there all night? Yes. You don't look tired, but you've been up for over 2 days. It's gonna stunt your growth. Your fiancé will be disappointed to see you're still a kid when you return to her. Still a kid? No one will believe that. There's just no way. Just because I don't sleep sometimes, I will grow any older? I was just kidding, right? Yeah, this is a bad page. I should have skipped this. What I should have done was, instead of having 2 pages here with the White Wolfos and then this bad page, I remember even at the time I was like, this punchline isn't very good with the Link freaking out about this because he's not that dumb. So what I should have done was that near the early morning, they should have heard the Wolfos making noise and all that kind of stuff. And so like maybe again, like, oh, like the snow's letting up, like it's early morning, maybe we could get going. But then the Wolfos start making all this noise and then Link's all sassy at him. And then he's like, no, like we'll wait. I'm going to wait a bit longer. And then we could skip to this page where they step outside and there's all the snow everywhere. Like a little time skip there instead of going through it beat by beat. I think that trying to show everything that happens, like the passage of time, walking the reader through it, like step by step, is a really common mistake in your first comic or an early comic, because it's like, oh, how would the reader know? How would the reader know what has happened if I don't walk them through it step by step? No, like you don't need that. You don't need to do it. It's fine. The reader can understand time skips. And plus you can avoid bad filler pages like this one. I did enjoy drawing the snow. I love winter. I love snow. So this was great. Snow, all of that is snow. Is that even possible? I've lived in the desert. This is blowing my mind. It's at least waist deep and likely deeper in some areas. Wish there was a way to tell exactly. Here we go. What? Hey, fling. The fling was not necessary. Oof. How deep is it? Why? I don't care why it's deep. Tell me how deep it is. Mixed feelings about this page. It's kind of cute. I feel like there's something off with the punchline, but I do like the image. I think, that's one thing, is that sometimes I would work around like, oh, what would be like a funny, cute image? So like the idea of him being in the snow, trapped in like this deep snow, just flailing his arms around and being like, why? Like, I was like, yeah, that's really cute. It's funny. Haha. And yeah, it's still kind of cute, but like, since this was a gag comic, I was used to building it around things that like, oh, like this is the punchline, that I needed to stop and think about, like, if I'm making it like it's a cute punchline, like, oh, he's so cute flailing around the snow. It's kind of messed up because it's really deep and it's not very safe, but it's Link, he'll be fine. What do you think about, like, is it worth it? Is it worth a whole page? It wasn't really. I don't think. This is, maybe other people might find this better than I do. This is another case where I think maybe I could have merged pages, like this page and the next one. Man, this will be a pain to travel in. Do you need help getting out of there? No. Gasped. For the love of, it wasn't like you were drowning. So like, this is kind of cute. This works better than the flailing and the why. So I should have just merged these 2 pages and had him jumping at me and gasping for breath, gasping for air. That should have been the punchline for both of them. I should have merged them. This should have been the punchline. I should just skipped the last panel or whatever from that, something like that. But, oh well. Ugh, this is ridiculous. How do you people live with this stuff? And how are you walking on it so easily? It isn't that dense. Freaky little elf. I am not an elf. Then you're all skin and bones. And how did such a skinny kid supposedly save Hyrule, huh? My arms are not skinny. I didn't mention your arms. I don't think this is that funny, but actually this doesn't really go anywhere. So this is another thing like I could have just skipped, but it had a little bit about like, haha, he's walking on snow like an elf. Oh, he's like Legolas. Some people found that funny, but I could have skipped this. I really could have. Well, that just goes to show you stuff. Just because you have an idea and some of it's cute, it's like you gotta ask, do you need to do it? Does it need to be included? Is it necessary? Is it even that funny? And if the answers are all no, then like you could just skip it. Yeah. The first 2 panels are still cute though. I still like those. But oh well. What a draining day. Is there a town nearby? Yes. Good. I'm starving. Maybe you can go on forever without eating, but normal people can't. Grrr. That was a bear, huh? So this is cute. It's not that funny, but it is actually necessary because it does set up something in the third chapter where basically Ganondorf regains his trust with food. This is a necessary page. So, where to? The town. To make more money, eh? No. We're not going just because I said I was hungry, right? No, we aren't. I'm going so I can get rid of you. And he's serious, Yes. Yes, he is. Ganon in that second panel actually looks pretty good. I mean, his chin and jaw is a little wonky, but the rest of his profile is not bad. Yeah, his head maybe looks a little small, but it's hard to tell where his hair ends with this style. Yeah, this whole second panel is not too bad. So that's it for the second chapter. Yeah, this is really interesting because as we were starting this, I was expecting that basically, the whole chapter is going to be better than chapter 1, except for that one terrible page. But actually, I think there's more unnecessary pages in this than there were in the first chapter. And I'm not saying that they're bad, but they weren't necessary. And like, if they were like hysterical, then like, yeah, maybe I would be like, yeah, it's necessary for the joke because the joke is amazing. Like the cow. Actually, cows and milk and all that come up later. So like, that does kind of serve to introduce that topic that like, okay, we're going to have cows, we're going to have milk, he's going to love milk and all that. So like, that's fine. Sometimes you don't improve in a linear fashion. Sometimes they're just ups and downs and you gradually make progress over time with some good things and some not so great things along the way. It's all part of the grand journey of comic making or whatever. Alrighty. That's all for today. I'll see y'all in another video. Bye bye.